A world we actually live in is where what we see in front of us and what's behind us, music, are always different. Similarly, millions of containers go to America from China every year. But why does America throw them in the garbage heap and in the middle of all this music Iran Boeing? They lie rusting music in the ports and around the cities of the old country. Some buy them and build cheap warehouses and small houses. Some melt them down and extract steel from them. But a large part of them remains unused. These rusting mountains of iron are like a silent signature of the inconsistency of world trade. On the other side of this global trade lies the secret of American oil. The country today extracts the most oil in the world, but they cannot fully use their own oil. The first reason is the nature of the oil. The oil that is extracted from American soil are returned full of goods. But where does the remaining 60% go? Not all containers are returned empty, because sending empty containers means extra costs. It costs about $3,000 to send each music empty box back to China, and that is the cost of the ship. 239 music also takes up space, yet a full container could generate millions of dollars. China can even make new containers in its own country for just $2,000. So they don't feel the need to send old boxes back. Music. The result is that many new containers are made every year. However, China has become the music factory of the entire world in the last few decades. Their huge exports and limited imports have created a huge trade empire. So when this stack of music containers reaches the ports of Europe or America, that's when the real stage of the problem begins. The business profit of the entire European country combined is very small compared to China. And in the case of America, the picture is even different. The world's largest music consumer imports a lot, but exports very little. As a result, 40% of the containers that come from China music. How is the 777 aircraft smuggled in front of the whole world? Let's find out all this in today's episode. Millions of music ships sail on the seas of the world, and 90% of the economy of our civilization survives on the shoulders of those ships. At any given moment, thousands of container ships are crossing the ocean's music, and on each ship there are thousands of iron boxes. The clothes you wear, the mobile phones you carry have never been music inside these boxes. Yes, from a distance it seems that the goods will come in containers, the empty containers will return. Everything is complete. Remind us how uncertain the global economy really is. Music decisions made far away affect your life every day. Music. So in the future, when you hear someone talk about rising oil prices or shortages of goods, remember that. There is a complex story of shipping law and diplomacy is light and thin, which is called light crude. But most of the country's refineries are built to refine heavy and dense oil. Once upon a time, America imported dark oil from Mexico and Venezuela. The equipment was also built there. But now, to replace that, 352 machinery and make it suitable for processing light oil, an investment of more than $200 billion is required, which is not possible in a very short time. So they sell light oil abroad at high prices and import heavy oil from abroad at low prices. The second reason is the infrastructure. The planes filed for maintenance under the pretext of turning off the pilot and started flying towards Kenya. But as soon as they entered Afghan airspace music, they turned off their transponders and disappeared from radar. Then, they changed their destination music and arrived at various airports in Iran. By the time the rest of the world realized music, they had merged into the Iranian Great Air Fleet. According to the law, the US also had nothing to do then, because Iran is not named in these transaction documents. Everything was done through a third party. These incidents. Iran has been under strict sanctions imposed by the United States for many years. They cannot buy or sell anything from America or its allies. Yet, a private airline in Iran called Great Air is seen using many American Boeing and European Airbus aircraft. But how is this possible? Music. Every bit of the story is like a thriller. In 2024 to 25, 5 Boeing 777s are suddenly in Iranian hands. Music, these aircraft originally belonged to Singapore Airlines. For a long time, music were abandoned in the Australian desert. Iran could not buy them directly because of the embargo. The strategies behind building it are behind the scenes. I will share with some of you this Ramadan all the strategies and complete AI integration that I have learned in the journey of building this huge empire from scratch in the last 9 years. For more details, come to the description and first comment. What could be the reason that America, despite being the world's largest music oil producer, cannot use its own oil even if it wants to? It's like a farmer growing crops on his own land. When he goes to use those crops' music, he has to fold his hands in front of someone else. There was a lot to do. So first, an American-based company bought them. Later, the documents showed them being sold under the names of two fake companies in Madagascar and Cambodia. In fact, these companies had no music real existence. Everything was just a name to avoid sanctions. Then, when these planes came under the name of Madagascar, they went beyond the control of the US authorities' music. Then,